Okay, welcome again to Horses and Archery. We are on part two of starting a horse in archery, and this is that paint I was telling you about. Now, right here, I'm just getting used to the target. Okay, right now I'm pulling a grass burr out of my ankle. Stinking West Texas grass burrs are tough, but anyway. I'm getting used to the target, and if you see, I'm just walking past the target. They take things a lot better when you introduce them to them when you just walk past it, okay? Not just walk straight up to it and expect them to smell it, sniff it, and everything. You'll find that they get used to things a lot quicker by following them or just walking right on past them before they just ask to stand still. They are a prey animal. That's not what they do. They don't stand still and face up to stuff. They like to move their feet. Makes them a little more comfortable. So that's what I do. And he took it real well. He's sniffing it now and pretty relaxed with it. Done that okay. And there goes my camera. The wind blew my stinking camera over, so I went and set it back up and started it over again. Okay. So again, I've just walked past it, and he done good. He already smelled it. He's great with the target. He's not worried about the target any. So I'm going to introduce him to my arrows, and I'm going to, as you see, I moved him around in my quiver right there where he could see him, and then I turned my back to him and kind of used myself as a buffer between him and the arrow. And then I'm going to turn back around. Now, eventually we'll get him to where, I'll just take him straight out the quiver, and he needs to get used to all of that action. But right now, I'm taking it in small increments. I'm looking for holes. If he reacts, I want to know what's causing him to react. I don't want to have to guess at it, so I take it all in stride. Now, right there, he is not liking those arrows over his head. He doesn't like the sound of the fletching. Again, the wind's blowing pretty good, pretty hard, and is making a sound going through the fletching. And if you notice, I have two arrows in my hand, and that makes it just a little bit more motion and stuff. But he needs to get okay with that. And you're going to notice he's not trying to leave, which is good. Okay, and he never does just really try to leave. But on this whole session, he more just tolerates stuff than gets okay with it. And guys, you don't want to get on and start shooting if the horse is just tolerating it. Okay, you want to make sure they're okay with it. You're asking for trouble if he's just tolerating it, because what happens is they'll get to a certain point where they just can only take so much, and then they blow up, and either they'll just start running off, or they'll start bucking, start acting silly, and a lot of times that is the reason why your horse just progressively starts speeding up, and before you know it, you're flying on the tracks, and you can't help it. And a lot of the cause of that is starting them too quickly, okay? This horse, most people would think that he's okay with it over his head again, but he's not. He's just tolerating it. He's not okay with it, okay? Most people would just stop right here where they're at and go on to the next one and keep going. But how do you know if your horse is just tolerating it and if he's okay with it? One, you see how he's bobbing his head? He'll quit bobbing his head. If he's bobbing his head at all, he ain't okay. Okay. Another deal is you got to watch his ears. Okay. His ears will tell you what he's focusing on. He can pay attention to things on both sides of his body at the same time. And what it is that his ears will face where his eyes are focusing. Okay, if the right eye is focusing on something in the front, his right ear is going to turn towards that. if it's focusing something on the back, it'll turn towards whatever it's focusing. So you'll have where he's got one ear turned backwards, one ear turned forwards. Well, he'll be focusing on something to the back, and he's focusing on something to the front. So I'm saying all that to explain this to you, that if the horse is at high alert or more alert, he's going to put both ears, both eyes on it, okay? If he's really paying attention, both ears, both eyes. I want him to get to a point with these arrows and with your bow and quiver, all your equipment, that he doesn't feel that he has to put both ears and both eyes on it, okay? He needs to be relaxed enough to be able to not have to not think that he has to pay that close attention to it. So his ears will tell you when he's just tolerating it and when he's okay. Now, I'm just asking him to move around right now to kind of get him to relax a little bit and get him used to the arrows in all of his zones. I'll put him towards his hindquarters, and he walks around. He needs to be okay with it. Okay, now you see his ear right there? It kind of swapped, but they're both still pointing the same direction. Mainly, one's going to one side. See how they're switching back and forth? That's getting better, but it's not good because it's not altogether. It's not okay yet. And another thing that you look at is his jaw, the muscles in his jaw and around his mouth. They're going to be real tense, and they're not going to just be soft and supple. Okay. But you see, like right now, he's not feeling it. He can just relax. His head is above plane. This horse doesn't naturally hold his head that way. And so he's more alert, so he's raising his head up. Now, he's not running off, so that's a good thing. Okay, I'm not just having to hold this horse here and make him take it. That's been most of his problem in his training, I find. I think is that he's just been made to take it. He's been what I call cowboyed, you know. They just get on and grab the night latch and ride. You know, that's silly. I used to do it, you know, but it's not the best way in the world to do things. And it causes this in the horse. It'll make them to where they think they have to just tolerate it, but they're never okay with anything, all right? You want them to be okay with it. You see his ears. Pay attention to his ears. His ears are pinned back. And his jaw's real tight. He ain't running off, but he's far from okay. And right now I could probably get on him and shoot some arrows, you know, let him dance around a little bit and shoot some arrows and say, you're going to do it. But eventually he'll have enough and away we'll go, you know. So I don't want to have to ride like that. So here I'm just upping it just a little bit. I'm taking it and running the arrows back and forth through my hands. I'm just rolling them in my hands, making them make a lot of noise. Okay. Sometimes if you show them an eagle, they say, they got another horse trainer that's a really good horse trainer, and he calls it showing them an eagle to get them used to a blackbird. So you up it just a little bit, make a little bit more noise than what you really need to do and get them used to that eagle flying, to get him used to the blackbird. And you see when I lower it and everything, he's starting to relax a little bit more. Get him used to the big things, and they'll take the little things pretty easy, but at the same time, you don't want to get too big too quick. Again, so what I'm going to do is just let him follow this around a little bit. He's still not okay with it. He's getting better. You notice when he's following me, how he lowers his head? When I raise him up a little higher, he raises his head. That needs to leave. That needs to stop. Okay, see how his head's just slightly elevated? He needs to have that head down straight like he was whenever he was following me. And his ears need to be swishing back and forth, and him just being relaxed. His jaw needs to be relaxed. We're not going to get that today, all right? But that's where he needs to be before we get on and ride, all right? Or before we take him any further in his training. So he's getting okay with it. You see his head getting a little lower, he's getting a little bit more relaxed. There you go. He says, "Hey, take it." What was that? Still on alert. See when I touched his top of his head, how his tail swished? I don't know if y'all caught that or not. Look a little bit more. Put it over him. See how his tail swished? That's not flies. That's him getting nervous. He's starting to wring his tail. And getting irritated, getting nervous. When a horse is wringing their tail and doing stuff like that, you better be ready for something because he's thinking about fighting. So I went ahead, put my arrows up, grabbed my bow, put it over his head. He's okay with it, or he's tolerating it. He's not okay with any of this right now. He'd just as soon be back in the pasture. And when I first got this horse the first day, just to let you kind of know his mentality, I walked into the round pen to catch him, and he turned his butt to me and tried to kick me, okay? It was a defensive move and an aggressive move. He was trying to assert his authority through aggression because he thought he needed to protect himself. And so here again, I'm just getting him used to the bowstring and all that. But anyway, I brought him through the restart and taught him how to give the pressure, let him know that, hey, you don't threaten people like that. And got him, the restart is just getting to give the pressure good, being saddled good, and walk, trot, canter, okay? So he did that, found some holes, more with attitude, and that all comes from training too. If you got a horse with a bad attitude, it reflects on the trainer. The horse should have a good attitude. I don't care if he's an aggressive horse or not. You can have you ought to bring, if you're a good trainer, you can bring a good attitude out of the horse. If you're not able to do that and pretty consistently, you're doing something wrong. So what I'm doing here, I'm just getting him used to the arrows. I'm shooting the arrows out in front of me and letting him follow me. All right, I'm not going to stand still at first and shoot these arrows. It's a lot easier for him to take with them following it than if you just asking them to stand still and take it. All right. They get used to things a lot quicker when they're moving their feet, and that's just because they're a prey animal. They feel more comfortable thinking that they can run, or thinking that they're pushing something away, that they're pushing it away, and that's what this is assimilating. I'm the dominant horse here, if you want to look at it that way, and I'm running these arrows out in front of me. I'm running them all away, and he's done this from birth. Got behind the dominant horse and run the other horses, follow the dominant horse, and he pushes, clears the way, and that's what we're doing here. So now he's okay with it. Now I'm going to stop. I'm going to shoot it to the side, left and right, and I'm kind of out in front. Then I'm going to go to the more to the side and behind. And again, I got my back to him, so I'm kind of a buffer between him and the bow. That's in his mind is being aggressive. Okay. Again, what this horse is thinking, you got to keep in mind when the horse looks at this in his mind, I'm the predator, the bow's a predator, the arrows is a predator, the target's a predator, everything is, and he's got to be defensive with it, okay? And what it is he needs to understand that I'm going to defend him from everything. He needs to put his trust in me and understand as long as he's following me, paying attention to me, he'll be okay. As soon as he starts to think for himself, that's when bad things happen, you know. And he'll learn that. He's getting that. Before he was more dependent on himself, and the human was just kind of an overlord, you know, something to be tolerated instead of a leader. And we need to erase that. That's just how he was done. Or it seems to be. I don't know that for a fact. But it sure seems to be the way he's acting. And so all of this is just desensitizing them. And y'all can take this time to learn. You'll need to learn now that, if y'all don't already, to learn shooting left-handed and right-handed. Okay? You're desensitizing this horse like this. It's a good time to just take your time and learn to shoot left-handed, learn to shoot right-handed. And again, there I let him kind of look at it. He's okay with it. Yeah, the better you can handle your bow. And again, a lot of times when I'm just riding and teaching the horse, I'll put my bow and quiver on and train with my bow. Even if I'm not shooting, I'll just train the horse to ride with me holding my bow, and it teaches me how to handle my bow a lot better. You can't do that enough. Okay, and if you switch hands, holding it left-handed, holding it right-handed, all of that stuff, it just makes you a better archer. Okay, and again, this isn't a timed event, so you might as well just go ahead and take this time to learn it, so you just don't get bored out of your mind. Okay, because this is kind of boring. After a while, it gets kind of repetitive. But what I'm doing now is I'm getting him used to the sound of the target. And again, I'm not just going to walk up to it and start slapping the target. Now, I want you to notice something. He hesitates on his left side. Whenever he hears the pop, he hesitates. Okay? You turn him on the other side, he doesn't hesitate. But right there, see how I kind of popped it, and he kind of, I don't know about that. That was from shooting off of him too soon. Okay, he's kind of worried about it, and you're going to notice when I swap sides. See, he's getting okay with it right there. But when I swap sides and go put it on the opposite side, the left-hand side, he's more okay with it. See, I popped it, he didn't even react. I just went right on by. And what that's telling me is he was shot off of too soon. He wasn't okay with it, and he's a little apprehensive with it being on that right side. Now there he kind of paid attention, but you notice I smacked it twice. I went pop, pop, just to see if it would what he would do, because the first one he took fine. Just hit it once and kept on going, and he did great. So now I'm going to take my my bow, and I'm just going to pluck. Well, no, I'm not yet. I'm going to turn him left and right. Okay, he's okay with that. Yeah, he's okay with that. He's getting away. He's not paying attention to it at all, which is good. His head's low. His jaw's soft. He's not swishing his tail. He's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pluck some arrows at it. Now, I'm not coming to full draw now, guys. I'm just plucking arrows, okay? They might not even stick in the target. I'm just plucking them, letting him see it. And I'm going left and right. Again, I'm switching hands because I'm practicing shooting left-handed like I am shooting right-handed, okay? It's going to be hard to knock your arrows left-handed, but you'll learn. I strongly advise you to do that. And it's fun. I like doing new stuff. Get a sense of accomplishment. Again, he's getting okay with it. Head's down, he's kind of relaxed. He kind of bobbed his head a little bit on that last one. See what he does here. Now I'm going to stop and shoot, since I know he's totally relaxed with this, with that noise. And does good, doing good. Now, of course, I'm out in front of him. I'm not on the side of him yet, but that's okay. I'm mainly getting him used to the pop of the target and the sound of my bow, the sound of the arrows flying through the air, all of that stuff. Now I'm gonna show him my quiver. Now, see his ears go up, both ears facing forward. He's getting stiffer. Put my quiver on. Now on the saddle horn, you see he's going sideways. Now he didn't leave, but he was trying to get away from that quiver. Now if I would have went ahead and just got on his back and that quiver would have flopped down on his side, it would have gotten bad. Might not have, but it could have. That's why I'm doing this. You see his ears, both of them focusing back. He's focusing on that quiver quite a bit. So I'm going to hang it on the back of the saddle where it's going to fall down around his flank area. You see that? See his tail starting to ring? He's not for sure if he might have to fight. Okay, both ears are facing back. His tail was ringing. His mouth's real tense. He is definitely not okay with this. Right? He's not trying to run off. It's a good thing. But he is just tolerating it, and that's it. You see his tail? When a horse is doing that, he's getting ready to fight. Okay? He's really nervous. And it's usually an aggression type nervousness. He's not gonna run off. He's ready to deal. He's ready to kick somebody's brains out. Ears are pinned back, tail's ringing. He's saying, "Okay, boss, you're about to push me just a bit too far. I don't know if I'm all right with this. I'm just going to keep on going." Okay, if you notice his tail's still swishing, but it's not as bad. Okay? He's starting to get okay with it. I'm going to sling it over him. You notice right there, he just stopped. Whenever I started fooling with him, his tail's not swishing no more. His ears are still pinned back and his jaw's really tight. So he's kind of more froze up than he is okay with it. So he's just standing there kind of stiff. So that lets me know wouldn't be a good idea to get on this horse today and try to shoot off of him. He's not ready yet. Not by a long shot. Okay? All of this needs to melt away. He needs to melt. He needs to get okay with it. Now, again, you can probably get on and sneak a ride is what I call it, and shoot. And what I mean by sneak a ride, you might sneak through it and not get bucked off. And or no, nothing may happen and you may not. You're just lucky. It could go 50-50. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on. I'm going to end the lesson with this. And I'm just going to I'm not getting on. I'm just going to get over him and put some weight in the saddle. And I've got the quiver on my side. Okay, the quiver's hanging down, dangling down. Let him see it. And kind of rub all that away, and going to untrack him a little bit. Let him settle down. And I'm going to pretty much just keep doing this until he's okay with it. Okay, we're not going to go any further in my training until he's okay with all this, till he softens a lot more. All right. I'm just going to reassure him a little here. And again, I want this, when I'm swinging this rope like this around, I want this to become a relaxing time for him. Let him know he can relax a little bit. I'm just kind of going back to the things that he knew, that he knows, asking him to back up, say everything's okay. I'm not this mean guy. All right. Done good. And that's going to be it. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all next time.